Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba is talking about our real story, the true story of the soul, the truth about Baba, and the truth about time. Now, when I was reading the Murli, I was thinking about how each of us are carrying within us, within ourselves, a story about who we are, about who God is, or what He does, or how He does it, and a story about how I have been on, or what's going around, or what has been going around for so long. So we have our own ideas about, or our own story about the self, God, and drama. And then that story that we hold inside of us is what we keep playing in our mind over and over again. And then that story also creates our consciousness through which we see whatever is happening today. So right now, whatever is happening around you and how you perceive it is also based on the story that you're already carrying inside. And that story is very important in that sense. The story of who you are, who God is, and what is this whole thing about. So whatever is going on. Let me take a very simple example. So when you think about the current state of the world, then there is a tendency to blame. Sometimes you blame others, sometimes you blame your own actions, sometimes you blame collective actions. And then you carry this story inside you. And then when you see the events that are happening around you, it again invokes that feeling of blame or guilt about whatever is happening. And if you are blaming somebody or some entity or some party or some group of people for it, then you will be angry on them. And then if you're blaming your own actions, you will be guilty and sorry. So these are the feelings that you will create by seeing through the filter that the consciousness that you are at is creating. So whatever you are believing, that story is also creating a consciousness, and that is the filter through which you are seeing current events. Now, when Baba comes, Baba says, I also tell you a story. It's not very different from what other people are telling you. I also give you a story. So the scientists have given us one story. The religious people have given us another story. The political people will give us another story. So everybody is giving a story of their own about who you are and what's going on and who is God and other stuff. And the scientists will say, okay, God doesn't exist, so you are it, and you are nothing but you are a collection of matter and stuff. So everybody is giving us one or the other story. And then Baba, God, the truth, also comes and gives us a story. And Baba calls this story Satya Narayan ki Katha, the story of becoming true Narayan. And Baba says that everything else that you have been hearing about is what makes you fall. It doesn't make you rise. it makes you devilish, it makes you inhuman day by day, or non-human. And what I'm telling you will make you Narayan, will make you a deity. So if you just keep what I'm telling you in your awareness, then that will lift you up from this current state. And if you keep the other stuff in your awareness, then that will pull you down. Now, let me give you some thoughts about how I think all this works. Now, you see, there are some people who live their life in material consciousness. And what is material consciousness? It tells you that the foundation of what you feel inside, of your feelings, your state of mind, is your sense perception. So whatever you see, hear, your taste, your skin sensation, or what you're smelling, these 5 senses, how comfortable your body is, or whether you have a roof over your head or not, that is what determines your state inside. So your body and what's coming through the body decides how you feel on the inside. So that is one way of living life. This is one story. Yes. So there are people who have propagated this story, and ever since we are born, parents say that study well, earn well, comfortable life is a good life. So if you are able to afford good things to see and feel, and a good bed and a good house, then you will be happy and peaceful on the inside. So this is one consciousness in which people live. Then the second kind of consciousness is that religious consciousness. So sometimes people have this belief that this guru or this spiritual leader or this human being has the power to bless you and make your life good. So the deities are happy with you, or the spiritual leader is happy with you, or the religious leader is blessing you, and then your life will be good. And then you don't want them to be angry with you. So there are these thoughts about the deities not getting angry with you, and the religious leaders not getting angry with you, your guru is pleased with you, and then everything in your life will be fine, because whatever is happening in your life and in your mind is about whether the guru is pleased or not pleased, or whether the deity is pleased or not pleased. So this is also one kind of consciousness in which people live. And that consciousness also makes you very, very dependent, because sometimes you feel they are happy with you, sometimes you feel they are not happy with you, and then you have given away your power to another person, and they are or even a statue or an idol, and then you are at their mercy, that if they are pleased with you, then you will be happy, or if they are not pleased with you, you won't be happy. So this is also one kind of consciousness in which we live. And then Baba gives us another set of, so God, the truth, when He comes, He tells us that you are living in body consciousness, but you are a soul. And you are that being inside who has the capacity to choose. You are peaceful, you are pure, you are happy, and you can choose to feel how you want to feel whenever you want to feel, and for however long you want to feel that feeling. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what conditions your body is in. You just have to exercise that power of knowledge that you are a soul and your feeling is a creation of your mind and intellect, and whatever you want to feel, you can feel whenever you want to feel. And you have access to God's love and God's power and God's virtues at any moment of the day, whenever you want. And God doesn't judge you. So God is not interested in whether you are a sinner or a good person. If you are connecting with Him, then He will give you what you want. If you sit in silence, consider yourself a soul, and turn your attention to God, He will give you whatever you want. He will give you the love, the peace, the purity you want to feel. And your world is on the inside. It doesn't matter what the conditions outside are. If you are comfortable, peaceful, and great strength inside, then everything will flow from inside out. You will start attracting good things outside also. So this is the soul consciousness that Baba tells us about. And Baba tells us that you have direct access to God all the time. And Baba is telling us every day in the Murli about so many methods, so many directions which will make us better that connection. So he says you have the access to the unlimited, you have the access to the Almighty. And if you adopt certain lifestyles, you can just better that access. And it is up to you what you want to feel, how you want to be, what you want to create, what kind of karma you want to do. It's not dependent on where you are or whether you have sense perception or not, or whether somebody is blessing you or not blessing you. It doesn't matter at all. So you just have to listen to Baba's directions, and when you start doing that, and even if you don't do that, God will not be angry with you. If you don't do that, then He will not be angry or He will not curse you. Because God is the ocean of love. So if you are able to do it, then it will be good for you, because you will be able to experience the freedom that you are entitled to. And you will be able to experience the connection with the Almighty and experience His powers. But even if you don't follow it, He doesn't judge you. Yes, so He is just giving what He has. You take it, not take it, He doesn't mind. So that is the kind of consciousness that Baba asks us to have. And then you see, there is another thing that we need to understand, that I, the soul, and there is an inner world of the soul, and then in that inner world there are three things. There is the mind, there is the intellect, and there is the sanskar. Now, the mind is connected to sense perception. So whatever you see, hear, everything kind of plays on the mind. So it's like a big screen. Yes, now just imagine that 10 of you are watching a movie on a screen. Right? So the same stuff is being played on the screen. But then, how you respond to the movie is very different for the 10 of you. Because that depends on your personality and what you hold in your buddhi. Now there might be one person who has in his buddhi very sternly fixed that this is all acting and these people are not real. And then he will sit through the movie like he's dead and there's no response at all, because he's completely detached. He feels this is acting and it doesn't motivate him. And then there's another person who feels that this is my day, I want to enjoy it the most. And then they laugh at the horror scenes, they laugh at the fight sequence, they laugh at everything. They're just enjoying, they want to enjoy every scene. And then there is another person who has surrendered himself to the movie. And they cry when they're supposed to cry, they laugh when they're supposed to laugh, they get angry when there is a fight sequence. So their emotions are raging up and down. Similarly, there is a big movie playing on the screen of your mind all day. And the input may be the same. All of us maybe 4 or 5 people are in the same scene at that time. And what they are seeing and hearing is the same. But how you experience it will completely be based on your consciousness and what you hold in your buddhi. And that is where Baba wants us to work. That is the area that Baba wants us to intervene in. Baba says, what kind of story are you carrying in your buddhi? So Baba gives us the true story. And what is the story? The story is the story of time. And he says this story of time is that 5,000 years back, this world was heaven. Every soul was in the perfect stage, full of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And because the soul was in complete soul consciousness and life was an expression of what they had within, then the nature and every soul around them was happy, the relationships were good, the physical health was good, because it was all based on high consciousness of the soul. And then gradually with time, just like the day has to fade into night. Nobody blames. So, nobody blames the day, blames the day for changing into night. Do you say, why is there night? It should be light all day or all the time. So this is a natural law. Everything has to change. So Baba says, nobody is to blame for the present condition. This is how things are. Just like the day changes into the night, slowly, gradually, the souls lose power. They take birth after birth after birth, and then you lose power. And then you come into body consciousness, and you start being greedy and lustful, and you start being egoistic, and you start depending on people, places, and things for your identity and your self-worth. And because of that, you start snatching and being selfish and, sabotaging other people, because you want to experience happiness through people, places, and things. You want to have control over them. You want to use them to your benefit. You want to, you just want to abuse them for your advantage. And that makes you perform these devilish actions. And then Baba says, this was a factor of time. And then I come and I light the light of knowledge in your heart. And I tell you that you are a soul and you are the child of the Almighty. And if you just dissociated your buddhi or detached your buddhi from the world around and sat in connection with me and drew power from me, then you will become spiritually full again. And when you start doing that, then everything else will follow. So your body will again have good physical health, your relationships will again be good, and the world will again be a better place. Now Baba says, if you just spin this in your head, so this is the Swadarshan Chakra. You keep spinning this in your buddhi that I was a tiny little soul in the soul world living in that perfectly peaceful world, my home. And then I came down and I was in my perfect stage as a deity. I was full of love, peace, purity, joy, bliss. And then slowly, gradually, when I came down, I am here. And then now I belong to Baba. And Baba has adopted me, and he has made me his child, and he's giving me whatever I need and want. And if you just spin these things in your head, whatever Baba is telling you, not what the world has told you, then Baba says, this will give you a lot of strength. And then the world tells you that God is nowhere, or somebody tells you that God will come one day and then he will come in the form of some handsome deity. And then Baba says, no, that's not the way I come. I am the incorporeal. I take the body of Brahma. I enter his body. I speak through his mouth. That's how I talk to you. And if you just bought into what Baba is telling you, then you will be able to experience how much Baba loves you and that he has come from the soul world and he's talking to you every day. And if you don't have faith in this, then what happens is you keep looking for the God while he's here and he is nurturing you. And you keep looking for him everywhere and don't recognize that he is here. So Baba says, I am telling you a different story. And that's the true story. And every other story is making you fall. Now, there is another story which science has told you. And science has told you that you were a monkey. And then you supposedly evolved from a monkey to a human, but I don't know whether it will be called evolution even if it is from a monkey to a human, because monkeys are better off these days. So monkeys are not scared of COVID. Monkeys are not wearing masks. So I don't know whether even if you buy into that story of evolution, I don't know whether it can be called evolution. So if you believe in that, then you justify all your monkeyness. So there is a lot of monkeyness which has crept into the human soul. Lust, greed, attachment. And then Baba says, you are justifying your monkeyness through that theory. But if you justify the evil, how do you get rid of it? You are actually nurturing the evil by creating these fancy stories about yourself. And then Baba says, no, you were a deity. You were full of purity and love and peace. And just spin this. Now you see, we have been introduced to this concept that we were monkeys ever since we were children. And that we were very impressionable at that age. And we have bought into those theories. And it's there sitting in our subconscious, and it is coloring our perception and our behavior and our responses. So Baba says, now that you're grown up, I'm giving you this story when you have very little absorption power. So you hear this much, and then you can only listen to this much, and then you remember this much, and then only one point stays with you. That also sometimes. And you're here listening to what I'm saying at this age and day when you are not like a child absorbing everything right away. So just use your man and buddhi and churn this over and over again, that I am not a monkey, I am an erstwhile deity. I am an erstwhile deity, and I am that deity who did not need an advisor. Baba says deities do not have a board of advisors or a council of ministers. They have such good discernment and decision making that they can discern and decide in every matter on their own. So just seat yourself in that self-respect that I am that deity. I'm capable of absolute purity, absolute peace, and I'm capable of such good decision making. And when you invoke that in you, then that power will be accessible to you. And then Baba says, you do not belong to this clan or that clan, or you do not belong to this religion or that religion. You are God's child. And the proof that you're God's child is that when you are in trouble, God has come for you. He loves you so much. And just spin this in your head. And when you spin this, you will know if God cares for you, you must be worthy. If God cares for you, you must be worthy, and start recognizing your inner worth. You're not ordinary, you're very worthy. God comes from the soul world to take care of you, to teach you. So you're very worthy. And Baba says, once you start spinning this thing in your head, who am I? Who do I belong to? Who was I? What is my original form? Then the powers that are latent within you, sleeping within you right now will wake up. And you will start to have access to your powers and your virtues and everything that you're capable of. Now, let me read out the Murli a little to you. So Baba says, sweet children, because your intellects hold the knowledge you have received from the Father of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world, you are called spinners of the discus of self-realization. So Baba says, you have received true knowledge about the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world through God Himself, and that makes you Swadarshan Chakradhari, which is spinners of the discus of self-realization. Have you seen that tiny little discus in the hand of Vishnu, Swadarshan Chakra? Yes, so in idols you place that Swadarshan Chakra in the hand of Sri Krishna and Vishnuji. And Baba says that Swadarshan Chakra is not something that cuts the throats of people as it is shown in scriptures. God wouldn't slit the throat of a human being. That's not what God does. And Baba says that is not God's discus. It's your ornament. You children have this discus of self-realization. You know of this chakra. The chakra of what was in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what is the end like. And when you just spin it inside your mind, then all your weaknesses are killed. That's the purpose of the Swadarshan Chakra. And what is the opposite of the Swadarshan Chakra? The opposite is Pardarshan Chakra. So when you keep spinning the discus about other people, so when you keep playing in your mind the acts and the words and the behaviors of other people, and Baba says that's like doing the opposite of what Baba is asking you to do. And when you do that, then you get the opposite of what you're supposed to get, which is you move away from peacefulness, you move away from happiness. So Baba says, just churn the truth that Baba has told you. Churn the truth about yourself, about who you belong to, about how you have made this big journey and how Baba is holding your hand today. And the more you churn this inside you, if you churn anything right, you get butter. So if you churn the right thing, that is, if you churn milk, then you get butter. But if you churn dirty water, you get foul smell. So Baba says, what you get depends on what you churn. So churn the truth that Baba is giving you. And that will make you full of strength. It will give you the butter of self-realization, God realization. And so this is what Baba is telling us. And then the question today is, what injection does the spiritual father give you spirits to purify you? And when I was giving you the synopsis, I told you that people are giving the injection to the body, but everything else depends on your state of consciousness. And when the soul is disempowered, then the body cannot be disease-free. And this is why Baba comes to treat the soul, not the body. Because the body, the state of physical health, is a byproduct of the state of spiritual health. And so Baba comes and gives the injection to the soul. And Baba says that once you are healthy, then your body will automatically be healthy. And what is the injection that Baba gives? And what does that injection do? The injection makes the soul pure. So what is the disease of the soul? The disease of the soul is impurity. And what does the injection do? It makes you pure. Now what is the injection? Let's understand that. Baba says the injection is Man Mana Bhav. Man Mana Bhav is a word that comes in the Gita. And Man Mana Bhav means connect your mind to me. Baba says, just connect your mind to me. That's the injection. Now, do you know when somebody has to give an injection to someone, the injection has to be very, very fine, it cannot be thick. It has to be the needle has to be very sleek and very fine. Similarly, you have to keep your buddhi, your intellect, absolutely concentrated like a pinpoint and focus on Baba. The intellect doesn't have to wander anywhere, just one Baba. And just experience how he is the ocean of virtues and you are his child. Just sit in that prolonged experience of who Baba is and that you belong to that one. And when you sit in this concentrated state, it's like an injection. And Baba says this injection is something that only the spiritual father can give you. How to focus your mind and intellect on the picture and the virtues of that one who is the ocean of love, ocean of peace, and just hold him in your mind. And when you do that, then you will be cured of your impurity. Baba says this is the injection. The injection is Man Mana Bhav. No one but the spiritual father can give this injection. The father says, sweet children, remember me, that's all. And when you remember Baba, you don't remember anyone else. And that's what purifies you, because you are getting impure by remembering the impure. So Baba says, just remember me. It is only by having remembrance that you souls become pure. There is no need to study Sanskrit for this. Baba says you don't need to study any language to know what Baba tells you. Baba will speak the language you understand. That's not a problem. You just have to do what he says. And do you know that Baba's knowledge is translated into every possible language on earth? And Baba does that service for his children. He makes children do that service for the fellow human beings. So Baba says, you will not have to learn a different language to talk to me or know what I am telling you. I make everything available to you in the language you understand. But what you need to do is do what I tell you. That's remember me. Unplug your attention from everything else. Just remember me. And it'll work like an injection. Baba says the Father speaks to you in plain Hindi or in whatever language you understand, of course. When you spirits have the faith that the spiritual Father is giving you methods to become pure, you will continue to renounce the vices. And once you start feeling healthy, sometimes you're suffering from a disease and then you're not feeling well, and then you eat all the wrong kind of food and you engage in a wrong lifestyle. And then what happens when you start taking a medicine and when you start feeling better, you start giving up on those practices which you had started engaging in because you were weak. So Baba says, when you take your mind to me and you start feeling that I'm actually strengthening you with purity, you will start giving up the vices automatically. Because what are the vices? The vices are like a crutch for a lame soul. So because you don't have inner peace, purity, happiness, that's why you're begging from people, places and things and engaging in lust, ego, anger, greed, attachment, because you are trying to source your spiritual nectar from these things. But Baba says, once you start feeling fulfilled inside, you will give up the vices. And then, one day there was this brother and he told me, Didi, so did you watch this movie? And he was referring to some movie and he said, did you watch this movie? And I said, no, I didn't. So he said, why? So I said, I don't know. I didn't feel the need to, or I don't watch movies. So he said, why don't you watch movies? So I said, I just don't. And he said that, so how do you pass your time? I said, no, we don't have to pass our time. Our time is valuable. So we don't pass our time, we use our time. So once you realize who you are, you don't do things which are worthless and meaningless. Yes, you are listening from God. Why do you have to listen to some human and buy into his ideas again? So Baba says, you will automatically give up on these things which are low in quality once you become fulfilled inside. You will not you will not feel the need to engage in lust or ego or attachment. You will rise above it. And that is how it works. So if you try to kill your vices, they don't get killed. Because you have been burning Ravan physically for so many years and it just grows bigger and bigger. Yes, every year there is an effigy of Ravan that you burn, and then every next year the one you build is bigger than the last one. Why? Because that's not how vices are killed. So how you kill the vices is you just grow more powerful than them. And how do you grow more powerful than them? You start connecting with the one who is more powerful than the vices. And that one is God. Everyone else is less powerful. That is why everyone else is propagating vices. Because they are under the sway of vices. Vices are ruling the whole world. There is nobody in the world who is more powerful than the vices. So there is only one. So if you want to overpower the vices, you have to connect with that one. If you connect with anyone else, they will tell you that vices are very powerful, you can't get rid of them. And then you don't get rid of them. So this is why Baba says, Man Mana Bhav. Connect your man and buddhi to me. I am very powerful and I will liberate you from the power of the vices. Okay? So this is Baba's Murli today, and there is the slogan, and the slogan says, to be influenced by an obstacle means that there is a flaw in the diamond. So anything that hits you because your immunity is low these days, yes? So your immunity determines which disease will hit you or affect you and how much. Similarly, Baba says it is your inner flaw. The diamond is the soul, and there is some flaw, some weakness in the soul, and that's why an obstacle is able to influence you. So you don't need to take care of the obstacle, you need to take care of the flaw. And when you take care of the flaw, the obstacle will go away. Now I will tell you one very practical incident about this. So there was this young lady, and she told me that she gets beaten up by her husband. And she said, so I want to file a complaint with the police about my husband. So I said, but you didn't do that. You came to me, and I am not the police, of course. So why did you come to me? You had to file a complaint. You would have filed the complaint. So she said, no, Didi, I just want to do the right thing. So I said, do you want to file the complaint or do you want to do the right thing? So she said, I want to do the right thing. So I said, so the right thing is you finish that within you which makes him beat you or allows him to have the confidence that he can beat you. And she said, I don't know what that is. So I said, why have you not left him until today? Why have you not filed the complaint until today? So she said, I'm very afraid that if I leave him, then how will I earn my bread? I'm not financially secure and I don't know whether my parents will support me. So I said, that is the flaw in you. When you came down, did you take permission from him that he will feed you and that only then will you take birth? No, you came alone and you have your destiny. Don't be afraid. So she said, should I leave him? I said, no, I'm asking you to leave the fear first. Just leave the fear first. Get over the fear. Tell yourself every day, I came alone, I brought my destiny with me. I can deal with whatever is happening and I can take care of myself. If I choose to stay, it's because I choose to stay, not because of any wrong reason, because I'm financially dependent or this or that. I just choose to stay because I want to stay. That's it. And then I said, don't focus on what he is doing for some days. Just focus on this one thing. And then after some days, she told me, Didi, the relationship has gotten better. And he doesn't beat me anymore. He even talks to me nicely. So whatever is outside is able to influence you because there is some weakness inside. And if you take care of that, then the outside thing will automatically lose its strength. That's how you deal with an obstacle. You don't deal with an obstacle by fighting with that obstacle. You deal with an obstacle by fighting with the flaw that is encouraging the obstacle. And these things are very, very subtle. They are on the inside. And when you change from the inside, people will very concretely figure that out on the outside also. And not only people, the five elements of nature will also figure that out. And they will start behaving with you differently. So this is the slogan. Om Shanti.